Hello Taurus, how are you? Welcome to your August 2016 love and general readings. I am using a new deck this month. It's called the Golden Universal Tarot. I hope you like it. I am going to just kind of jump right in. So here is your love reading, okay, for August 2016. Taurus love reading for August 2016. Okay, here we go, Taurus. Good. Interesting. Okay. A lot of yellow in this reading. Warm tones, which I like. Okay, so I'm going to start right in the very center because that's usually like your energy as it is now or today or, you know, the most recent vibes, okay? And one of the more prominent messages, you know, a lot of these cards, these messages, they sort of circulate around the center of the reading. And to have the Seven of Swords in reverse is a promising place to be, because to me it means that things that were bothering you or hindering you in some way, you're coming to terms with them. You're starting to recognize them and starting to maybe control them a little bit better. You know, I kind of call this, when it's, you know, right side, the card of self-sabotage, right? When things are going well, when things are moving forward freely, we halt these things. We run away from good things. And, you know, it's hard to explain why, but the fact that it's in reverse means that you're either recognizing that type of behavior and not acting on it, and you're not allowing your thoughts to get the best of you. You know, a lot of times we make up little scenarios in our mind. You know, we have little conversations and they're so far off base in terms of the reality of what the other person is thinking, in terms of how they're feeling, and you're just sort of projecting things. And it's totally just like made up in your mind, right? So there is a sense of reality here, and you're allowing things to unfold in a more natural way. And you are willing to allow the other person space to just be who they are, and you aren't projecting anything on them. So, okay, long-winded explanation for that. But I think that's a really a positive place for you to be. You do have a little bit of challenging energies in the top row, especially with the Knight of Swords reverse. I'm kind of getting a sense that this might be indicative of your partner, right? Being connected with the Three of Swords, but in reverse, so it's good. You know, it's a little challenging, but it's not as intense as it would be if it was in the right side position. I am getting a sense that maybe because of what's happening here, that you are feeling a little bit more free, if you will, or less burdened. A lot of times we put those burdens on ourselves, and and with that sense of reality that you're coming to, or, you know, it alleviates a lot of the pressure that you put on yourself, a lot of the feelings of obligations and the feelings of responsibility, and you are feeling, I think, a little bit more free. Now, that being said, I do see, I'm kind of sensing that this is you here. This Emperor might also be your partner as well, or someone that you're dating, someone that you are interested in. because I'm getting this projection, being directly connected with both of them, and you sort of looking away, which is good, kind of heading in the same direction as the man here. I'm wondering if your partner hasn't behaved in... Let me think about this for just a moment, because actually I'm getting something else. Because I am seeing a solid, like, relationship, right? With the Four of Wands, which is a card of, like, even marriage and and foundations and strength and support of those around you, people that love you, and strong ties and strong roots. Okay, and this is sort of like not squaring up the reading, but I mean, kind of it is. And okay. Let me actually move forward here, okay? Because I'm changing my mind, I think, is what's happening. So let me just talk through this one, because we have the Three of Swords, but in reverse. So again, it's a more promising card. I like the way that the artist depicted Three of Swords in this deck, because there is actually a person here. And this person is looking up and seeing the swords and seeing the affliction, seeing the heartbreak, and seeing it for the truth that it is, right? Truths can be difficult, they can be challenging. Some of you, May and June were incredibly tumultuous for a lot of people. There was intense energy, and I saw this not only in the monthly readings, but also in a lot of the some of the personal readings that I was doing at the time. I know I did take a little bit of a break, but I am seeing that a lot of people were afflicted by things, especially in terms of love, that there were lots of issues and heartbreaks and fighting and just all over the board. And the good news about this card is that it came out in this position. And now, because this person is facing these swords and looking them sort of in the face, looking them in the eyes, you are able to better control, and it's like you're pushing them away. Like now you're in a better position to push them away and push them out of your life. And you have the stability of the ground underneath you. So you can push them as hard as you can, and you can keep pushing them until they leave. So there is a sense of empowerment here. I feel as though August really is a card of things getting back, a month of things getting back to equilibrium. And whatever challenges you may have had, they are sort of ironing out slowly. Okay, there's definitely a vibe of slowness, okay, with all of this. And this can apply to both you and your partner. It can be something that you share together. If you aren't really dating anyone special, this could just have been a heartbreak that, something that just didn't work out, and you are officially like moving on and getting it out of your life. Okay, so it's promising. It might take time, swords always take time, but it is a symbol of success, and it is a symbol of getting to the other side, right? So whatever sadness you feel, there is an end point for you. Now you have been left feeling weak. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands reverse right next to the Strength card reverse. Okay, you might be feeling tired, and a lot of these projections and a lot of this center energy that I talked about can leave you that way. When you are projecting and when you are setting, expectations, or when you are living in an unrealistic place, and making things up in your mind. Like a lot of it really is very imaginative, and it has nothing to do with where the other person really is and who they really are, right? And it's just something that you do to yourself, and you kind of put yourself in a state of weakness. I don't want to say weakness, not putting yourself in a state of weakness, but putting yourself in a more emotionally vulnerable position, even though there's no need for that. If something happened, if there was a fight, if there was some tornado-like energy in your life recently, as shown with this Knight of Swords, which is, and so this is kind of what I was changing my mind about, because I originally saw it one way, and then as I was maybe analyzing it a little bit more, I am seeing it more as just like maybe the energy between you and your partner, or between you and someone that you are just dating, or something that you went through that was like really fast, kind of like a whirlwind relationship. Maybe the beginning, you started seeing someone and it just sort of swept you away and just pulled you into this other realm, and then you kind of started like putting out there, okay, well, this could never work because of X, Y, and Z, and setting those reasons, and they probably think this, and they're probably think that I am this type of person, and and it kind of gets out of control a little bit. But the good news is this Four of Wands, and whatever was out of control, or whatever may have spiraled a little bit too quickly, or escalated a little too quickly, it can also indicate, a fight, something that where you clashed and you disagreed, and all of a sudden you're spiraling out of control and you are thinking things. But now I think you are really seeing things for what they are, and your mind has calmed down. You yourself are finding stability within your own life, within yourself, and alongside someone else. All right. So if you did have kind of a whirlwind beginning to a relationship, I am sensing like a little bit of settling. A lot of times this whirlwind can lead to, and whirlwind relationships too can end very quickly as well. And so whatever it is, whatever your specific scenario is, just know that there is stability on the other side, whether it is with someone or even by yourself. Now, usually this does mean union of two people or entities, or, but ultimately the ground of it is stability. And we do have the Emperor here, okay? Now, I was originally seeing these both as the partner. More so, I am seeing it maybe you and your partner, and this being the energy between the two of you, okay? So I might have been a little bit misleading there, so I apologize. But the 4 and the 4, I think your partner has maintained some level of stability. I think that you may have been the one that kind of allowed things to go, and like I said, it's very much in your mind, and now, okay, because we do have this, I think you are relieving yourself of that stress and of that pressure of those projections, that things are now able to flow more freely. And I feel like maybe your partner has always maintained himself or herself and remained composed, and has always been there and been a support, and a lot of times, you look for, in a relationship, you look for the red tape, you look for the issues, you're actively seeking, because you're thinking, well, how could this relationship possibly be so great? How can there be just smooth sailing and blue skies and sunshine, and there not being like a cloud or a wave in sight, okay? And this person is just like, because it's good, because maybe it works that way. I care about you, you care about me. There's no need for us to get so worked up into a tizzy or so worked up into a frenzy for no real significant or substantial reason. And I think you're coming to that realization. You might be feeling, like I said, emotionally vulnerable because of it, and like you may be exposed too much too quickly. But this person is not going to be scared away. They're not going anywhere. They're accepting you for everything that makes you human and wonderful and beautiful. Even though I do feel like you are going to slow it down. All right, you're going from the Knight of Swords to the Knight of Wands. You are going to put on the brakes a little bit and allow things to just go, right? The Knights in reverse to me do indicate like slower movements. In right side, it's more quickly, depending on which Knight it is, of course. But I think there will be an air of caution moving forward. Okay. Actually, that top one. Yeah, so whenever I get the Three of Cups reverse, and this has kind of been a recurring theme a little bit for a couple of the signs, to me, it takes a more serious tone. All right, your relationship might be in a transition period. All right, this may have been some sort of a catalyst into the next phase, and the next phase is good. All right, the stability and the union. If you are totally single and this speaks to you in terms of someone new coming in, there may be someone new coming in. Okay, we do have a couple of Knights here, but we also now have the Page of Swords. So there could be an air sign in your way or in your sights, right? Now, I think this transition is slow. Like I said, August has a lot of slow moving energies. Nothing is sudden, nothing is fast. All the fast and the suddenness happened in May and June, early July. In July, the dust is settling, people are calming down. And as we move into July and into September, I think things are going to be like status quo. Things are going to remain as they are. And any heartbreak that you've had, this is a significant and important period of healing for you. And take that and accept it as a blessing, because you're not going to be interrupted. You're going to be allowed to just work through it. And you know, the Wheel of Fortune reverse does indicate, I mean, the wheel is always spinning, but in reverse, it means it's not quite ready for the new chapter. So you're still kind of wrapping it up. The tens indicate, you know, tying up loose ends, and things are just buttoning themselves up, and you're doing the finishing details on yourself, on your spirit, on your heart, and getting yourself back to a place where you will be ready to experience a new set of ups and downs, okay? And it is going to be more serious. To me, whenever I see this card, especially in this deck, because there's like the bright pinks and the fruit, and it's very colorful and fun, but I feel like it's like the party is over. All right, the party's over. Whatever drama that you've had, it's over. Don't expect anything grandiose. Don't expect anything like a severe high or a severe low. Now is the time to get serious and to just move forward one step at a time. Now, there may have been, with this Page of Swords reverse, okay, and I do sense if you're single, this could be someone coming in, but slowly, okay, maybe not quite. They might be being withheld a little bit. And when I say withheld, I mean like the universe isn't going to present them until this wheel is totally turned. So probably not right away, or probably not like this week, you know. And this could also indicate just a message coming in to you. And the Page of Swords is, to me, unimportant conversation. It's like high level small talk bullshit. You know, it's like if you're, you know, I'm not really sensing that you're going to hear from an ex or anything like that. Nothing is coming back from the past, but there could just be even kind of a little bit of an avoidance of the issue. So maybe you and your partner realizes that maybe you just got a little emotional, or there was some just a little, you were just going through something, right? And they just write it off. Okay, they're going through something, but I'll be here and I'll be here to listen, right? And so I do feel like maybe there is an avoidance in terms of talking about the issue, because maybe you are feeling a little bit silly or ridiculous for making certain projections and setting certain expectations that were unrealistic, or that really were very made up and imaginative, and they were just purely based on your illusions. And I don't see a need really for you to like talk about it, or for you to delve into it. It's just something you just move on from. And this person is unwavering. They're not going to, like, they allow people to just be human, and they accept that you are just being human, and that they are also human and they do the same things. And I feel like this is a very mature, solid energy for you, and that you will move on from it. Again, this is a very mild reading. August has been very, very mild. I don't even think you have any, you have 1, 2 majors. I mean, so there's not, and this is reversed, so it's even, you know, less powerful. So yeah, so a good reading, it's good for you to get things out of your system and for you to move on and to heal, but it's not, you know, there's really not a lot of expectations of really high ups or really low lows. So I'm happy for you. Sometimes you know, you really need a period of time in your life where things just calm down, and where things don't, you know, where you don't have your entire life affected by a matter of the heart, right? Like, I certainly understand that. The love issues can really creep into every area of your life. Okay, so let's move on to your general reading. Grab some coffee here. All right, Taurus, your general energies now. Whoops. All right, I don't feel ready for that yet. Okay. Taurus, general. All right, here we go. Taurus, general. Okay, Page of Pentacles. Oh, good. 7 of Swords reversed again. Cups. There's your Emperor again. Okay. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups. I love it. So there are new things coming in, right? There are opportunities. This really could be work related, having the Pentacles, okay, Page of Pentacles, something new and exciting. Some of you might be looking for new work. This is a potential of new work coming in, and not just potential of new work coming in, but also maybe something that you feel connected with in some way, something that holds a special place in your heart. So it could be even a freelance opportunity, or something that you can do for extra income that you actually enjoy, aside from your main source of income. It could even be like an opportunity to join some form of an organization, or some group of people that you know, I'm getting a sense of feeling rewarded. Like you are feeling like it's a good positive thing that can enter into your life, all right? And I don't think it's going to be, you know, a huge opportunity. I'm not getting often a lot of times I see the Knight of Pentacles as being like a job offer, whereas this just being a little bit more subdued and being something that comes in that allows you to maybe make extra income or allows you to spend your time in a productive way, right? Or to convert a hobby into a business, or to, you know, just kind of like find some new avenues, some new interests, new things that you spend your time doing. And in a positive way. Page of Cups, something that you do feel connected with, you have an emotional connection, and you like it, you enjoy it, it fulfills you emotionally in some way. And it could be a part of like this healing, right? With this Seven of Swords, the part of this coming to reality and saying, you know what, I really need to spend my time doing something more productive and being like a better citizen and being a better person. I'm sensing that you, Taurus, okay, here we have the Queen of Pentacles, that you are feeling a little disheveled. And it could have a lot to do with what's happening in the love department, or it could just be maybe your life in general is feeling a little bit upside down. You're feeling a little unsatisfied or dissatisfied. You're feeling like things have maybe been a struggle, and there may be a little bit of fear in terms of finances, but not, I mean, not really, not specifically. It just might be, again, a little bit in your head. Now, it's interesting that we pulled out the same character here. And we have this tie to the past. I'm getting like children here, right? Pages are usually, even though these in this deck, they don't really look like kids, but, you know, they're supposed to be. And this is, you know, children. And there is that vibe of nostalgia and feeling a connection. And it's like a very sweet and innocent and naive connection. And I'm getting a sense that it's directly related to this Emperor. So your partner, as much as I don't want to make it a love reading, I do feel that since this guy came out twice, almost in the same position, that this is the same person. And there could be something even that you do together, or something that you share from the past, right? A shared hobby, a shared interest, something that brings you back, that you remember fondly. Like, I'm going to make a silly example. It's just the first thing that came to mind. Like, you just happen to share a love of like ice skating or of roller skating, or something that you used to do as a kid that you connect with in some way. And as silly as that example was, you know, it could be anything. I do feel like there's going to be that sense of reward for you, and a sense of like that you're doing something worthwhile, like you're spending your time in a productive way by sharing that with someone. Now, this doesn't have to be your partner. I can read it, you know, in many different ways. It can be a boss or a person of influence in your life, a leader, most likely a man. If this doesn't indicate your partner, most likely a man, someone older than you, more wise than you. It could even be a sharing of experiences where this person has wisdom to share based on his or her past, most likely his past, that they can embark upon you and shed light and wisdom to you in terms of your path. This could be a conversation that you have with like even a grandfather or a church leader or something like that, that they have a lot of life experience. They have a lot of experience with people, and they can enlighten you in some way. I am sensing, you know, feeling a little bit stuck with this Two of Wands reverse, that there is a feeling, there is a vibe of feeling a little bit lost, okay? Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. There is a sense of lack of direction. All right, a sense of lack of direction and not quite being able to see the path. Which way do you go? What do you really want out of your life? All right, this is a very existential, it's kind of like the hermit to me. It's very wide open, open to receiving messages, but really it's about creation and our ability to create and design the life that we want. And sometimes when we go through this period of projection and self-sabotage a little bit, and it doesn't have to be so extreme. Self-sabotage sounds so extreme, but it could just be in very little ways, like where opportunities come in and you squash it because it's not realistic in some way. So you just get rid of it and get it out of your life. So by doing that, you do sort of say, okay, well, what then? If I don't want this, then what do I want, and what am I going for? And I think there might be a little bit of confusion in that realm, and finding things that are in line with what you see for your life, because you can have opportunities come in and you can have conversations with wiser people, and you can, have all the information and all the advice in the world and all the opportunities in the world. But ultimately, if you don't really see your path, or if you see your path of moving forward as being a little bit scary, a little bit ominous, feeling a little bit of pressure and stress on yourself, then it's going to be a challenge. And there is that idea of the perception versus the reality, because you perceive yourself maybe to be lost, to be stuck out in the cold, to be, being a little bit desperate and a little forgotten by the universe. But ultimately, you do have the prizes that the universe has given you. You have worked hard, you have accomplished a lot. Sometimes it is about gratitude and looking at your life and seeing the things that you do have. And not putting so much pressure on yourself to have a path, to have a direction. Sometimes it is those that wander that are the least lost. It is, going from place to place, from job to job, some people find peace and solitude in just experience. And you don't need to always have a direction. I'm not saying, that's probably like the least savvy business advice I've ever given anybody. I mean, it's totally opposite from everything that you've heard, but you need to allow things to come into your life. And sometimes the things that come into our life are lack of motivation. They are lack of clarity. They are lack of understanding. And it's okay, because it always works itself out in some way. That's the faith in the universe. And to allow yourself to just feel lost, allow yourself to just feel a little disheveled and a little bit scared and feeling a little bit of pressure of, it's okay for you not to know the direction that you're going. Not forever, if you don't want to end up in a certain way, obviously you do need to be able to make decisions. But there's a lot of life experience that can be learned when you get lost. It's like going to New York City and getting up off the subway and having absolutely no idea which direction is north, south, east, or west. And you have to just start walking somewhere, some way, until you see a street or an avenue, until you see something that gives you clarity and understanding of where you are. There's so much knowledge that can be gained from being lost. And I have no idea why I'm saying these words. I'm kind of getting inspired. So hopefully it means something to you. Hopefully it provides some comfort. And to you, if you have things coming in and you have, conversations with people and you have an influence in your life that is trying to guide you or even trying to push you or get you to veer one way or another, it's okay if it doesn't feel attractive or if it doesn't feel like it's meant for you, and just allow yourself that space and that flexibility. Okay, so oops. Okay, I mean, we already kind of went over both of these, 3 of Swords reverse and 3 of Cups reverse. So there is that healing phase and that self-empowerment phase as well. And another reinforcement of the message of like dissatisfaction and changing direction, right? There also is a message that tells me that you're not seeing how accomplished you actually are. You're not seeing your true value. You don't acknowledge the gifts that you have, the talents that you have, the things that you have been blessed with, and the things that you've worked hard for. You do have things to show for it. So don't feel like you are empty. Don't feel like your life is being wasted or like things aren't coming to fruition, because they are. You're just not in a place where you're willing to accept that that's like you work so hard and this is all you have, quote unquote, because it's a lot and it is precious. I mean, these are made of gold, right? There are precious things in your life. Now, you might be taking a very serious tone. Like I said, the party's over. It's a very stern and very like, it's kind of like when you're having fun and you're having too much fun as a kid and your dad kind of gets mad. It's like, okay, that's enough. And he has that voice that you know he's being really serious. And if you don't behave or if you don't be quiet, there's going to be repercussions, okay? And you're kind of taking that tone with yourself. And maybe even this person is even kind of doing that as well and saying, okay, well, you know, there, like I said, there is a seriousness, there is a serious note to this. And you might really be feeling pressure to make changes and pressure to change paths or pressure to go in a certain way, but you're still not in a place where you are able to make that decision, right? Like you have the inkling and the knowledge, the acknowledgement of where you're at. And that's all you have. You don't have the next step yet. You haven't figured out where you want to go. All you know is that where you are now isn't where you thought you would be, isn't where you thought you would be going. And so you're at a crossroads here. Again, this is a very slow reading, not a lot of drastic or dramatic energies. So it's okay. You just need to allow things to unfold naturally. All right. So, and kind of like, I'm thinking about the ice skating and, you know, like the little things that you did when you were kids, right? And I feel like those little things in your life, those little special moments, those things that you share, you know, with someone, or I think that they will bring something out in you that you haven't felt in a very long time. And it's almost like being lost, right, is kind of like allowing you to indulge in nostalgia and indulge in the times gone by and reconnecting with your roots, right? These are our roots, reconnecting with your times of the most happiness and just allowing yourself to enjoy those happy times and the happy moments, because you do have this seriousness about you in your life. Let's take advantage of opportunities where you can just go and have fun and reminisce, and you know, even if that's just going over to a friend's house, grabbing a bottle of wine, sitting out on the front porch and talking, you know, is something as simple as that. I think that would be an important thing for you. Because when you're kids, you know, you think about, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a ballerina, I want to be a firefighter, and you think about these things, and those memories might come back, and it might trigger something within you to help you, you know, kind of figure out what it is, what your next step is. All right. So, okay, I'm going to leave you with that. It's not a negative reading. I hope you feel empowered by it in some way, because ultimately it is a very precious message and not one that I get to deliver that often. So I wish you nothing but the best, Taurus. Good luck, and I will see you next month. Thanks.